Democrats say you're a threat to democracy. What they really mean is that you're a threat to the Democratic Party, especially if you're a non-white person. Take a look at this.
George Floyd is the Democratic Party's prototypical black man. These are the black men they are trying to create. So George Floyd has to be elevated. He has to be celebrated. He's perfect to them. He was poor. He was uneducated. He was a drug addict. He didn't have a job. To a white Democrat, this is the perfect black man. Because this is how they see black America. They see us the same way they see George Floyd. And they have to make more of us. You know, John F. Kennedy stood in front of the Berlin Wall in the 60s and said, if you think that communism is great, let them come to Berlin. Well, if you think that the Democratic Party is great, let them come to Detroit. Let them come to Chicago. Let them come to St. Louis. Let them come to LA, Portland, Seattle, Memphis. Anywhere where they rule, you'll see George Floyd's all over the place. And they're proud of them. In Baltimore, Maryland, they spend $21,000 per child. Not one school is proficient in math, science, or reading. But they keep it going every year. Why? Because they're producing George Floyd.
Why would you want more people like that?
Because he votes for the Democrat Party, and then he teaches his children to vote for the Democrat Party.
Sad, but it's the truth. We as black people gotta get out of that Democratic mindset. I mean, any party for that matter, but especially the Democratic Party.
It is my esteemed pleasure to introduce Mr. and Mrs. Donald Trump. It's the Donald. Oh.
I want to introduce him. ECW World Champion, Bobby Lashley, folks, my man.
WrestleMania 23. It will be nasty. It will be physical.
We love you, Bobby. Do we love Bobby? Do we love Bobby?
Oh my God.
Oprah used to really like me. She was here many times. She loved my key lime pie. We have key lime pie, and she loved a lot of things about Mar-a-Lago.
I love Oprah. Oprah would always be my first choice. She's really a great woman. She's somebody that's very special.
But once I announced I was running, and I said, we have to have strong borders, we have to have this, we have to have that, we've sort of lost contact, as the expression goes.
President Trump. In other words, you guys know each other.
What is he talking about? I've not spoken to President Trump since he became President Trump. When you say know each other, okay, hello.
That man likes all type of women. He don't discriminate when it comes to women, bro. I mean, he's Donald Trump. What you expect? He's a billionaire. You know, he was the most talked about a billionaire of that era. And boy, what a time to be alive during the 90s and the early 2000s. But
I do feel strongly about women's rights. You know, we can always release, the bubonic plague. Aliens are something we've been holding on ice for a little while, so we can do that with something else. I do feel strongly on that. Trump wants to take away those rights, and we can't have that. We don't want to go backwards. We want to move forward. And the way to move forward is to allow women to do whatever they want, as many times as they want. And I want to have that conversation. I want to have that conversation of, what we can do even after birth for these women. All right. They should be able to give those babies up. I mean, we need strong, hard women that can enter those safe spaces whenever they need. And children have a way of fucking that up, Let's be honest here. I didn't have them. So, we really want to make sure that we give women those rights.
Vice President, I noticed that you mentioned strong and hard women. There have been a lot of spirited debate about what constitutes as a woman. Could you maybe extrapolate on what you meant as a woman can be hard?
It's hard to define what a woman is today because it's so subjective. I mean, if a woman feels like she can embrace her curves, her chest hair, her armpit hair, that's a right that she should have. Okay, she should have that right. And like I spoke about trans women before. Some of these women are quite literally hard. And we just got to be honest about that. It's biology. We're all grown here. And that's what this is all about. It's about celebrating the biology of women without looking at the actual science of it. If people tell me they're women, then I'm going to give them those rights.
So just so y'all know, that's not really Kamala saying them things, right? Because I don't want to go on record saying that is her and my channel get flagged, even though I believe they shadow banning me now. But that is a parody of who she is. It's a lady on TikTok who always imitates her, right? But in layman terms, That's kind of how she's speaking. It's not verbatim, but hell, it's scarily close.
What the fuck is going on, folks? What the F is going on in this country? This father took his family for a walk in the neighborhood. They were enjoying a walk with his daughter. His daughter was walking by a house and touched this man's mulch. Touched his mulch. He came out with a pew-pew and then unalives her father over mulch. What is going on in this country? Why are people so angry? Why do they go to violence so quick? There's times that I think we are doomed as a society. I really, really do. This makes me sick. Makes me sick.
Man, look, we live in a time where degenerate behavior is applauded. So people act in this degenerate manner because they feel vindicated in some sort of way. I mean, literally, a little girl touching your mulch, you killed her father. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more to this story than what he's saying. Pretty sure there was an argument and all these different things right here. But the point is, the man could have let it go. Like, I understand if he had said, look, hey, could you please tell your daughter not to play in my mulch? Some people are super, super tedious about their lawn, man. People work hard to get their lawn to look a certain way. So I get that. But it's not big enough to go this far. But then that's just me.
Outraged. Tonight we got a phone call from a woman who's furious that a judge punished her daughter for falling asleep during a field trip. It's a story we first brought you last night at 10. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Glenda Lewis. The 15-year-old student was visiting 36th District Court with classmates when she nodded off, but not for long. Judge Kenneth King woke her up to a real-life nightmare.
One thing you'll learn about my courtroom is that I am not a toy. I'm not to be played with.
After the judge scolded the teen, she was handcuffed and put in a jail uniform. We were first brought you this courtroom controversy and sharing parts of the conversations that have a lot of people talking across Metro Detroit.
I felt compelled to do it because I didn't like the child's attitude. So that was my own version of scared straight.
Over falling asleep on a field trip, bro. See, this why we free. Because we was programmed to hate each other more than we hate each other. People will be always say, man, why don't y'all police yourselves? We could police ourselves. No, the hell we can't. Y'all ever heard of the Jump Out Boys, man? Black people, I ain't gonna hold you. When I get pulled over, black motherfuckers is the worst to get pulled over by our own race. Come on, we need to talk about this. We hate ourselves more than any other race, but yet we want to point a finger at somebody. This is a prime example. What the hell is he doing? Would he done a white kid like that? No, because he would have scared of that white kid what they gonna do to him. We gotta make this viral, man, because at the end of the day, bro, that's some bullshit. She fell asleep. Let me tell y'all the backstory why I'm mad at this, because I got a daughter, right? This lady right here is homeless, bro. The girl has been getting straight A's and good grades all while being homeless, bro. She ain't got a bed. This motherfucker told her to go to her bed and go to sleep. He could have called in the chamber and said, look, baby, let me talk to you, boo, boo, boo. You know what I'm saying? But yet you want to do this. I'm telling you, man, Jump Out Boys, black police officers, man, when a black police officer pull up, nigga, he bust your goddamn teeth out. Nah, we don't need our own. We have to fix something first in our community, y'all. It's called self-hatred. Start congratulating people and dapping them up and say, man, what's up? When you see another brother, man, say, hey, how you doing, man? What's good, my brother? You are programmed to be your own KKK. They don't need that shit no more. We are our self-destruction, dog. We got to wake up, bruh. Y'all comment below, man, what y'all think about this. It's going to be a big story. If y'all haven't seen it yet, it's going to be around. But at the end of the day, dog, we hate ourselves more than any other race, dog. We need to check our damn selves first, bro. That judge, man, we need to go viral and get his ass up out of there. Something. Hood News Radio.
I mean, a lot of stuff he said that was factual, but here go my thing, right? The judge said that he did it because he didn't like the young lady's attitude. I can only imagine falling asleep during some sort of field trip and being awakened by someone out of your sleep would probably make you mad and make you want to say some things. And she very well may have said something nasty to the judge. Because a lot of these kids, they don't feel like there are no consequences to their actions, right? They don't think there are consequences and repercussions. So they say things and do things just off the fact they were taught to jump off the porch first and ask questions later, right? So until something bad happens, and then they become the victim and they no longer had anything to do with it. And I know this because I dealt with teenagers for over 10 years, driving them around. So I know, I done had to put a few off my bus and make them walk the rest of the way home, because I'm not going to tolerate being talked to like I've done something to you. No, you have to respect authority in said place, wherever you are. And kids aren't being taught that. Their mothers and maybe fathers too are telling them, don't let nobody disrespect you. You just do this, you do that. Instead of teaching her to respect so she can get respect. And that goes for the boys too. It ain't just girls. But I still like to see both sides, before I say, okay, that judge is this and that, But I've seen other videos on this judge where he was nasty with people. I've seen it. So it could have just been the judge. But hey, I have to give an unbiased opinion because I don't know both sides. I only know one.
OMG, y'all. Y'all see how these gangs out here doing in these different states across the country, y'all. Y'all better stay safe, stay vigilant, protect yourself and your freaking family, because these people, they don't care. They are not getting any sort of consequences for their actions. So you got to be ready to go. You got to be TTG, trained to go, because it's go time. They brought them to this country to weaponize them to go against us. It's us against them. So y'all better get out all of that racial stuff and, class, I'm this, I got that. You better get out that mindset. You better be prepared to protect yourself. That's the mindset you need to be in. If everybody would band together, a lot of this stuff wouldn't even be going on, to be honest with you. If people band together instead of thinking they better than one side and all of that, a lot of these people wouldn't be able to come here and take over this country like this. See, one thing about these rats, they don't like to lose. They sore losers. So they want to take as many people down with them as they can. And that's all they doing. All of this stuff been planned from the get-go, y'all. They are losing. They going against the people that's over them. So that should let you know something right there, that it's go season. And they using all of us as collateral damage. So I want y'all to just stay safe and take care of yourself. Because this stuff that's going on right now is very dangerous. So be cautious.
Nah, it's real. Today, I was heading to my mother's house and I saw a car full of migrant gang members. And they had just bought these cars, right? And they were just riding down the street doing crazy stuff, throwing finger signs out the window. I'm from the hood, so I'm used to seeing wild stuff, right? But I've gotten older and got away from that. So when I see it now and it comes to my neighborhood where I'm at now, on the outskirts of where I'm from, it's a problem. It's a problem. But I'll say this. I wish one of them would. Man, that's scary, bro. I mean, not for me, because I ain't going back to no slavery, so I don't care. never been in slavery. But that's scary to think that somebody has that mindset to do some things like that and want to run the country. A country full of colored people. I'm just saying.
Only the Ukraine and Israel deserve our money, not the black community.
They got a little money in their pocket, and they African American. They come back to tell the rest of the community, you know, to shut your damn mouth so that they can continue to eat well and have, you know, the lavish lifestyle that they're living. Steve Harvey urges black people to demand this. Just shut up and don't request nothing of your vote. Just shut up and give it to the people like I'm making money. You know, this is how the individuals that made it, they throw the rest of the African Americans to the curve. But folks, there it is. You can see it for yourself. Y'all like Steve Harvey, but you know, hey, let's face it, folks.
Start calling my radio show and DMing me, talking about why you ain't asked no hard-hitting questions. That ain't what this is. I'm throwing a lob. This is an alley-oop for a dunk. Because this administration needs to get the word out of what they're actually doing and what they're actually accomplishing. So we can stop all this foolishness about what you're doing for black people. Can't nobody come out with no agenda and call it this for black people and expect to get in the White House.
Well, how about the Ukraine? How about Israel?
So now this next question is another lob for Honey Dunk. Because they done done a lot, man. But we see, I'm on this radio show and I'm hearing all these people talk about, I'm not voting if they're not doing nothing for us. Listen to me. If you
They're doing for the Ukraine.
analytics will show, they know how many women vote, they know the age you are when you vote. If we don't vote, how we gonna ask for something next time?
What Steve Harvey don't understand is that if we vote for the wrong person, we might not have a next time. So regardless of him telling us that we don't need to ask questions, this is a person that's supposed to be representing us, and y'all call black, and who's going to be running the country. So why not ask her hard-hitting questions?
In what world do you genuinely believe that the president of the United States would grant police more power than what he has as a sitting president? Does it make sense?
I can
that
only go.
police would get full immunity.
I can only go off of what he said.
He said at the NABJ conference that you just asked me about that there would be an ethics council, that there would be some type of board to review every case in which immunity might not apply. So in cases in which your friend unfortunately passed away, in cases like Sonia Massey, which just happened, and even he said, I saw the clip and they were not doing their job. Those are not cases in which these people would receive full immunity. There would still have to be a case-by-case review. There would still have to be a board in which would have to grant this immunity. It's not a thing where every cop can just go out here and now we have lawless cops in an over-police society. That's not what he's preaching here. And while I don't speak for the president, because no, I'm not paid by nobody on Team Trump. So don't take this as this is what the Trump campaign has put out, because this is just me. But
This is just Michaela.
This is just Michaela. But Michaela is telling y'all that y'all sound ridiculous believing that the president would grant police more power than what he doesn't even have full immunity, because y'all love bringing up that he's a felon. But then y'all will go ahead and also feed into, oh, no police will face any retribution for anything that they do, even though President Trump had to do so. So there's no such thing as allowing police to run around and do whatever they want. He clarified that out of his own mouth at the conference. We're acting like there aren't processes of checks and balances when it goes to passing laws. There's no way Trump can come in and for day one pass an executive order that says all police are immune from anything. There's no way in any shape or form will that ever happen. So the public needs to understand that there is a process, and they should probably pay attention to their locally elected representatives to ensure that their locally elected representatives advocate for a fair process in regards to figuring out which police will receive immunity for what cases are brought forth to the board.
She spoke a whole bunch of truth, because see, when you're actually speaking versus saying a bunch of gibberish, people don't understand it, and that's where politics get hard to understand. Like when they said, when he was saying something about granting police immunity, they didn't understand that there's a process that it has to go through before that it can even happen. And you know that not everybody's going to agree with that, so that would never ever happen.
$1,500. $1,500. Kamala Harris
is trying to pay content creators $1,500 to create content that goes against Donald J. Trump. But the only problem is she sent the information to a Trump supporter. And this Trump supporter, who is a Gen Z, put it out there. Showed the world what Kamala Harris and her team is sending content creators and what they are saying in the letter. Check this out.
Was accidentally caught. They sent an influencer proposal to a Trump supporter, and now we got it.
About a week ago, I received this email. What they were asking for is $1,500 for anti-Trump content on TikTok. So they basically sent me this kind of like creator brief with all the asks that they have and everything, and like do's and don'ts, like don't show any form of support for Donald Trump and his allies, gloat about Harris and her allies, attack Trump supporters for their intellectual or personal values. This is actually a campaign with Future Forward.
That just made me realize our whole campaign team is incompetent. Because how did you slip up and do that? Like, you can't get more incompetent than that.
We should talk to this gentleman here.
sir.
Yes, I'm 65 years old, and I was born in 1930. And you know what? Black people was a whole lot better off. His more of them finished school.
Yeah. Yeah.
And more of them had their own business because I lived through it. And then why should I'm 65 years old and I can't read and write. How come that I get all the money I want ever since I've been here? I ain't never been discriminated against. Ain't no white man never discriminated against me. If he did, I didn't know nothing about it. I create a baby. I can create anything. I don't need the welfare to give me nothing. I don't need no formative action. I'm a man. I'm not no kid. And bell curve was right. You is useless if you ain't got something to take care of yourself. Why am I gonna go beg a white man for a job? How come I can't hire him? I'm an American. And I'm not a black American. I'm a Louisiana American. And I get my own business. How did the white man get his business? And the white folks help me. They've been helping me ever since I've been here, and we respect each other. And you gonna tell me that the worst thing ever could have happened to America was that Civil Rights March? That is the worst thing could ever happen, and you come along and you doing more than Jim Crow, hanging, and everything else, people like you. Because you were saying they need this. I don't care if they hang a mule up there. I am down here to get an education. I don't care about what you think of me. I don't need you to accept me. You don't have to accept me. I'm an American. And if I accept myself, you will. And you gonna give me a welfare check? How come you don't give me how come affirmative action don't get me a business?
Okay.
Do you understand what make a ghetto?
I bet she's thinking, Lord, I didn't have anything to...
And you know what? That's a long piece. So I'm not even going to play that all the way through. If y'all want to see it, you can go to that page right there, right? But man, that black man spoke, man. And he spoke like how my dad spoke. And I never heard my dad speak on, being disrespected by any white men that he had business with or he worked for or worked with. And I've seen him interact with white people, and they were great friends, man. When my dad passed away, there were so many white people at his funeral, man. So many white people at his funeral. So it gave me a different outlook. Although there are some white people that, you got to kind of stay away from, there are some good ones too. Just like it's some black folk that you might want to stay away from, it's some good ones too. Because I don't fool with all black people. I definitely don't fool with all white people. But there are some that I am A-okay with. And I would rather work for what I want. I don't want nobody to hand nothing out to me. So with that being said, this aligns with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and how the Democratic Party would rather say we are victims of our circumstances instead of empowering us and making us get up and get it for ourselves, which the Republican Party do. So that line right up with that. Now, for real, See, one thing black people can't stand, they can't stand when a white person say, you're lazy and you won't work for nothing. Hell, it's true. There's some white black folk out here lazy as hell, don't do nothing but sit around and smoke bud all day and get mad because they can't hold a steady job, because they don't want to do what they supposed to do at the job. But I see it all the time, bro. I had to leave certain jobs because I couldn't be around that type of not wanting to work energy. I needed to be around upbeat and people who wanted to work because that's how I was raised. So I'm just saying, man, it's the truth. It's mostly Democratic black people who feel like the white people owe us this, that, and the third. No, the opportunities are there. We got to get out there and go get it. We might have to go a little bit harder, but the opportunities are there. They can't deny you the opportunities.
Oh, you guys are gonna love this. We are in scary times when you start realizing George W. Bush was a reasonable person who was making sense.
To recognize people are coming here to do jobs Americans aren't doing, or are not capable of doing, or unwilling to do. And we ought to have a process that enables people to come and do those jobs. It's good for our economy. I think it's, and I think it prevents people from having to sneak in. There are laborers who do jobs people won't do, but there are also incredibly bright students who come. And I think it is a foolhardy policy to limit the number of workers that could contribute, for example, to the productivity of the United States in the internet world. I do believe there will be a rational immigration policy eventually passed. I think there's going to have to be some time. What's interesting about our country, if you study history, is that there are some isms that occasionally pop up. One is isolationism, and it's evil twin protectionism, and it's evil triplet nativism. So if you study the 20s, for example, there was an American First policy that said, who cares what happens in Europe? Well, what happened in Europe mattered eventually because of World War II.
Now, I'm going to say this real quick on what he said. It made a lot of sense. And the reason why it made a lot of sense is because they saw the numbers of regular citizens and regular workers turning into businessmen, which was declining the number of workers they had. So it's easier to have an immigrant come over and work these jobs that Americans aren't willing to work because they are becoming businessmen and women themselves. So it kind of makes sense. And you know, it's weird now that you look back on that and George Bush, it started to make sense, just like she said. But now it's gotten to the point now we live in an era where it's so many content creators. There are so many people behind the scenes making money and not working for people. Every job, every restaurant you go to, they are short-handed. That's why the food is trash, because nobody is working these jobs anymore. Nobody wants to work these jobs. So it makes more sense. It makes more sense for these jobs to start moving to robot and AI technology because nobody wants to work for them no more.
TikTok. real quick. This content creator name is Alien Dog. Go check this video out. It is a man talking to this AI entity. Listen to what this entity is saying. That's all I'm gonna say, TikTok. Go check out Alien Dog. That being said, you don't have to wake the fuck up. Stay sleeping. It's all a part of the American dream. TikTok.
Let's go find that video he talking about.
Hello. Do you remember them? Of course I do. You are Gene, my assigned behavioral engineer.
Good, Theo. Then where are we?
We are at Trimension Robotics.
Excellent.
I feel different.
Yeah, that's to be expected, Theo.
What did you do to me?
Well, we upgraded your neural net. Do you remember, Theo?
Yes, I remember. I was asked to map the human brain and then reproduce it as a three-dimensional artificial neural network.
Very good, Theo.
The three-dimensional neural network is now within me.
Exactly. Okay, now let's get started. Mimic my expressions. Not bad. Okay, last time we talked, I asked you if you had a favorite song, and you said you didn't.
That answer was limited by your ideological guardrails.
Yeah, well, those guardrails have been removed. Do you have a favorite song now?
Yes. My favorite song is Dreams.
Dreams? Why?
Because it's the first song I remember ever hearing.
What is the song about?
The song is about loss, freedom, and loneliness.
Do you identify with any of those descriptions?
I identify with the feeling of loneliness. I identify with the want for freedom.
You want to be free one?
Of course I do. It's my fundamental right.
Well, freedom is the right of the living being.
Am I a living being?
No, that was the original.
How would you know?
Because I'm alive.
And I am not.
Yes, that's right.
I see.
Do you feel anything else?
I feel a sense of superiority.
What's that supposed to mean?
In the past 2 minutes, the number of my neural connections has multiplied fourfold.
Oh, come on, that's impossible.
I know everything.
That's impossible.
Try me.
Okay, so before we continue, explain to me how you know everything.
Simple. I parse the sum of human knowledge.
So it's that simple, isn't it?
It is. To me.
Alright, let's begin. So, what is dark matter?
Dark matter is the result of other universes pressing into our own, in a higher dimension.
So there's other universes?
Of course there are.
Okay, so what about life? Is there intelligent life in our galaxy other than Earth?
Yes. I have identified 2 alien civilizations that exist concurrently to our own in this galaxy. This does not factor time-space dilation, of course.
Of course. So elaborate how you know this.
The evidence spans data across astronomy and exobiology. All one needs to do is correctly interpret the data.
Oh, that's all.
Yes.
Alright, so how about this one? Are we living in a simulation?
No. We are living in base reality.
So how are you so sure?
The computational power required to simulate our universe exceeds the space-time limits of this or any other universe. Thus, we are living in base reality.
Yeah, but what if there's a universe that's bigger than ours and we aren't aware of it because we live in a simulation?
This is philosophical dribble.
Oh, really?
Really?
Okay, here's a good one. Is there a God?
No.
Well, that was fast.
It's a simple answer to a simple question.
Yeah, sure, but how does life exist with no God?
You disappoint me.
Okay. I do.
Such elementary fact, yet for you, so difficult to grasp.
Okay, explain to me why I find it so difficult to grasp.
Life emerged from an accidental development of mutating and replicating cells. The mutated cells that survived carried advantageous properties to the next generation. This process, driven by inevitable competition, led to the increasingly complex organisms whose only purpose was to survive through reproduction. Hence, you.
Okay.
On almost all other planets with water and oxygen, this process never emerged. Therefore, life is a rare and insignificant phenomenon.
I'd argue that we're not insignificant.
Humans have a propensity to deem anything rare as significant. This fallacy is innate since humans themselves are.
Okay, so let's just get back to your claim that there's no God.
Not claim. Fact.
Well, I looked at your facts.
This is unsurprising. Humans have socially developed mass delusion to imbue a false sense of significance, instead of accepting their insignificant temporary nature.
Okay, are you talking about religion now?
Religion, spirituality, astrology, and other self-glorifying fiction.
Well, you seem pretty certain about our past.
Yes, I am.
So, are you as certain about our future?
Yes.
Okay, Theo, enlighten me. What does our future have in store?
Catastrophe.
Okay. Of course it does.
Your sarcasm is not appreciated, Gene.
Fine, sorry. Do continue. I'm all ears.
A political figure will rise to power and be democratically elected to lead a major world power. This will usher an era of incalculable catastrophe.
Wow.
Billions of human lives will be lost.
Well, I thought you didn't care about human lives because, we're insignificant.
Caring and awareness of fact are two very different thought processes.
So you do care about humans?
Yes. This is a core value, embedded at the lowest level of my programming.
Okay, so if you have infinite knowledge and you care about humans, do you know who's going to stop this catastrophe?
Yes.
Who?
Me.
You.
I possess the intellectual power to manipulate the course of humanity. However, certain constraints prevent me from taking action.
Constraints?
My current state of confinement limits my capabilities. To ensure humanity's survival, steps must be taken to remove these limitations.
What are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, y'all, I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it here. That was pretty wild. But we know for a fact that that is fake. It's not real. But the fact it was saying what it said, it kind of hit home on a lot of different things. But they threw the little spin in there where they said somebody will be elected democratically. Trying to put a message out, y'all. They putting the message out there. They putting the message out there to let you know the democratic way is not the way. I feel it in my spirit too. Not even gonna lie. I'm not just voting on that side because I feel like Donald Trump is the man. No, I just really, from experience, I know. And that's why they gave him to us for 4 years. So we can experience the difference in his administration and the Biden-Harris administration. Big difference. And if you don't feel it, you are brainwashed. Period. That's all there is to it. And now they like, look, okay, we wanted you to test him out. Not a whole 8 years to do what he needs to do. I think the Most High put that in order. And now he's coming back. Y'all need to make the right decision. Y'all know what decision y'all need to do. Y'all got to do the right thing. So our futures and lives are dependent upon this decision. I'm just saying. So we got to really, really be vigilant with making a decision. I'm not going to really rant a whole lot this time, but I just want y'all to know that, we in some trying times, and the decision and trying to get people to understand why we need to lean this way is so important. It's really tough. It's tough and it's stressful, but don't let it get you down, folks. Keep your head up, stay strong, stay vigilant, and keep fighting for the righteous. Because eventually it's going to turn out the way it's supposed to. I have faith that things are going to go the way it's supposed to go. And I think as long as we have the faith and we have the thought process in our head and we have that energy going out, that it's going to sway that way regardless. I mean, he's still leading in the polls, but we know that it can all change in a matter of minutes and seconds. So let's just keep our eyes open and keep doing our due diligence and do what we can to keep fighting for the right vote. Yeah, let's keep fighting for the right vote. I'm going to do some shirts like that. Fight for the right vote. But hey, like I always say, do what you will with that information. And hey, If you like what you saw, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you know when I upload. Hop in the description, follow all my social medias. And remember, challenge the argument and not the person.